Oh, hi guys, welcome back to my channel Ages Kingdom. In this topic, I am going to discuss about respiratory system, and that is for nurses. So when we speak about the respiratory system, we speak about two things: upper respiratory tract infections, because this is the word we are using usually in case of infections. Upper respiratory tract infections or lower respiratory tract infections, URTI or LRTI they will write. So means what are the parts if it is get infected, then we call it as upper respiratory tract infections, and what are the parts we call it as a uh, inspiratory things. So here we are seeing upper respiratory tract organs include nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, pharynx, and larynx. These are the parts we call them as a upper respiratory tract infections: nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, pharynx, and larynx. So when we get any infections to the sinus, pharynx or larynx, nose and nasal cavity, then we call it as upper respiratory tract infection. So this is a usually external organs and easy to get infections very easily. And that's why in the case sheet or the thing they will write it as upper respiratory tract infections. So this is a one thing. And then when we see about uh, lower respiratory tract areas, it includes trachea. Please watch the diagram properly. It includes trachea and bronchial trees and lungs. It includes trachea, bronchial tree and lungs. So this is about division of respiratory system. There are two divisions are there: upper respiratory tract infections and upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract includes nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, then larynx and pharynx, whereas lower respiratory tract includes trachea, bronchial tree and lungs. So when we see the nose, please make a note. When we see the nose, the two portions of these nostrils are divided by nasal septum. The bony portion, a thin fibrous like structure, the thin transparent division is there between nostrils, that is called it as a nasal septum, which forms the two nasal cavities and each cavity is divided into three air passages, that is superior, middle and inferior concave. Superior, medial and inferior concave. Please come back to the image. And when we speak about the nose, two nostrils are divided by one transparent thin structure. We call it as a nasal septum, and which forms a two nasal cavities, right and left. And each cavity, right cavity and left cavity, both are divided into three air passages. Please have a look. Let's call it as a concave or turbinate bones. Concave or turbinate bones. We call it as a lower one, we call it as a inferior concave, and middle one middle concave, and upper portion we call it as a superior concave. This is about nose. And next we'll see continuation of the nose. The nose is having the concave passages leads to the passageway called pharynx. This concave continuation part is pharynx. And if you see the continuation portion of this part, where nose part is connected with a pharynx, that we call it as a nasopharynx. It's called it as a nasopharynx, and here the ear is connected to the sinuses, the ear through the eustachian tubes, and even the eyes through the nasolacrimal duct. That means it is connecting to the even ear and even to the eyes also. Even it is connected to the, in the lower image you can see it is connected to the lacrimal duct also. It is connected to the lacrimal duct and even middle ear also. And when we see the palatine or palate bones and maxillary upper jaw bone separates the nasal cavity from the mouth cavity. You can see very clearly the palatine bone, that we call it as a upper surface of the roof of the mouth, and maxillary upper jaw bones separates the nasal cavity from the mouth cavity. And nasal cavity is having a cilia, hair like projections with a mucous membrane. So about one quantity of mucus is produced daily. So about one quantity is produced Because of that only, whatever dry air we are taking also, the nose will not get irritated. The nose will not get irritated. So this is all about nose only. And the nose is having five functions. First one is it serves as a air passage, and the second one is it warms and moistens the inhaled air, and third one is the structure of cilia and mucous membrane traps the dust whatever we are taking, either dust, pollens or bacteria or foreign materials, whatever is inhaled, it will be because of the cilia, it helps to trap that microorganisms. So next, fourth one is it optimize, it contains olfactory receptors which smells the odors. So the nasal tract is having olfactory receptors which helps in the smell odors, and it aids in pronation and quality of voice. It helps in pronation and the quality of voice, means because in this respiratory system even larynx also is included, that's why it helps in the voice production also. So this is all about uh, nose. And I think the nose structure, when you are speaking, you have to speak about nostrils, we have to speak about nasal septum, and what are the functions of the nose, and what is concave, and how it is related with one another. These are the important parts we need to study, and we need to study about upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract also. So the first portion of the upper respiratory tract is nose. So regarding the nose only we have studied in this class. Thank you for watching. If you really like my classes, please do subscribe. And if you write this much content, it is more than enough for 5 marks. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe.